My name's Vera Drew.
And I'm Ember Knight!
And
welcome to Jackass!
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Vera, I just right off the bat, I think that you should check your text messages.
Okay.
Did you
text
I found something interesting on the internet, and I thought that you should take a look at it. Hold on one second. Texting it to you now. So just whenever that comes up. It's just something that we stumbled upon, Bobby and I, and we were like, huh? That seems like something that Vera should see.
I'm so...
It's like low-key, like concerning, like you should just definitely see it. What is it? What do you think of that?
There's a video here. It appears to be Chris Pontius. And it appears to be a cameo. I already have tears in my eyes. I already have should I play? I
know that it's not like a special occasion or anything.
No, but I mean, it's that's what makes it even more...
Some things just can't wait.
That's what even makes this more special. It's just... The special occasion is just I'm in love and the chickens are finally coming home to roost. I guess.
Bobby and I found this together. We found it. We stumbled on it.
Should I watch this?
I guess we better see what it says.
Hi, this is Chris Pontius from Jackass and Wild Boys. Vera, I hear that you do a podcast called Welcome to Jackass, and Ember and Bobby tell me that I'm your favorite Jackass boy. Well, thank you very much. I'm flattered. You little vixen. I also want to congratulate you guys on your wrapping your movie, The People's Joker. I bet it's totally awesome and full of sexy appeal. I can't wait to see it. And I wish you all the success in the world. And thank you guys for doing that podcast, Welcome to Jackass. I can't wait for you to see what we're working on right now. I think you're going to love it. It's going to drive you wild. It continues to drive me wild. And if you like nature stuff, we're about to venture into the wilderness soon. Hopefully I won't get eaten.
Oh,
but almost.
Be careful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Vera.
He called me a vixen.
What do you think? Your hair is standing up like it's electrocuted.
The
room couldn't handle the energy that was flying just now.
I'm like lightheaded. I'm the most satisfied I've felt in months. And I'm in a relationship right now. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, no, it's
But this is bigger than I mean, even just hearing him say that you have a Jackass podcast is like, I feel just so seen. And Chris, I know you're not watching, but I can just pretend you are. Just be safe out there in the wilderness, and protect that moneymaker. You know what I mean? Wow, I'm so sweaty right now. I feel flush.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been hard to sit on this.
How long? I mean, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Bobby.
Of course. We love you.
I love you. And
it was going to happen.
And if you're at home and you want to pay him to send me more cameo videos, here's the URL.
He just starts getting one a day. It's like, my friend Vera really needs to hear from you again.
I think really the most comforting thing about this is because I do tweet at him quite often about how sexually attracted I am to him. And like, I don't know. I mean, I see everything people tweet at me, unfortunately. And like, I just imagine, I didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable by my lust, but now I see that as an open invitation. I could be even more. He says he wants my movie to have lots of sex appeal.
It's literally Chris Pontius. Like, he's not uncomfortable.
That's true.
You
But
know?
I'm just so respectful of people's boundaries.
If anyone is fine with it,
It's him.
it's
He looked so hot too. What was that fucking that
That
hair?
rat tail?
He had that rat tail. I talked at all about rat tails at all on the show? It's something I haven't been public about this because it's something I carry a lot of shame about. And I now mostly identify as a lesbian, but I mean that doesn't matter. I've seen a lot of gay women with rat tails.
it seems
these
that's a
days.
pretty gay thing.
To
do.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. I'm into that too, and you know, I just didn't think I could fall in love more with Mr. Pontius, but
You feel that he has aged like fine wine?
he's fucking gorgeous. He's fucking gorgeous. Even a stone cold Pontius hater like you. Well, not hater, but you just aren't physically.
You know what I will say? Both he and Knoxville in the cowboy paintball that intro,
Yeah,
we're looking good.
we got it. Yeah, we got. Let's dive into
My boyfriend's in the room. You know, Bobby McCoy, you're my one and only love. That intro, everybody was looking real nice. I don't know if it was the lighting or what, but
okay, Paintball Duel had like I would say some of the best costumes we've seen.
yeah,
in our entire.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that just because everybody had their own vibe. Like Knoxville kind of looked. Knoxville. I mean, picture Johnny Knoxville as a cowboy. That's what he looked like.
He literally wore what he wanted to wear.
Yeah.
He was like, I look good in this modern shirt and I want to wear it, and I will wear these chaps that I want to wear.
It's so funny to think about him in the actual Old West, or any of these men. But Pontius was just wearing a vest and then a thong, which they sometimes censored, and a hat. I wasn't looking at the hat, sir.
Some of us saw the hat. Some of us were looking elsewhere.
My favorite though was Rick Cossack wearing a tiny cowboy hat. Like a 5-year-old boy's cowboy costume. And like I feel like each of those it was a perfectly encapsulated
Yeah, and it was the
energy.
right order to see everyone in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a well-made piece. It was just a duel. It was a duel with paintball. It was one of the many just like
Yeah, it was just they're playing paintball, but they dressed up.
Yeah.
Because they're children doing what we all want to do, which is dress up, play a game, and be movie stars.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I'm just so flustered right now.
Yeah.
But like Pontius's ass when they did show it, when they had the courage to show it. I don't know why sometimes they're afraid to show. It's a butt.
I think they abstain from. I think that the censorship in this show is sometimes required and is sometimes aesthetic.
That's
Because in another sketch, which I would love to get into, that we watched called Dutch Girl, I'm pretty sure he was wearing underwear. But they censored it as though he wasn't, you know? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't wearing underwear. I don't want to break the fantasy
People
for
didn't
anybody.
really act like he wasn't wearing underwear.
I feel like he was probably wearing underwear. Or a thong or something silly.
Something.
But they knew in the edit, they were like, this would be funnier if we censor it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So
And
I think that's why they did it.
Dutch Girl was in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Oh, I should say, I spoke with our friend and cameraman, Nate Cornett, and he religiously listens to this podcast, and he loves it. Hi, Nate. We love you.
I love you, Nate.
But he called us out for not describing all of the sketches because he listens to it. So we should make an effort to describe what we're talking about, probably a little more.
Okay.
Because like half of our listeners are audio.
I just assume they want to see us because we always wear we always look good.
If you're only listening, you're kind of missing out because we do dress really cute. You should watch on YouTube. But sometimes people like listen, you know, they like to do their dishes or drive and they listen to their pod. It's a podcast. That's not weird.
I don't know why I'm shaming. I don't know why I'm shaming most of our audience right now.
It's like 50%, I think. Listen.
No, yeah, I completely agree.
Well, do you want to describe what you saw in Dutch Girl?
In Dutch Girl, yes, it was. I will describe that, Nate Cornett. Dutch Girl starred my now husband Chris Pontius as dressed up like a little Dutch girl. He was.
Damn, it was a good costume.
It was such a good costume. He has the blonde pigtails,
clogs,
and the traditional little Dutch girl.
Little Dutch girl.
I don't know.
Petticoats.
Is that lederhosen?
No, I think that's little boy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's lederhosen for both, but it's the little dress with the petticoat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then his shtick was that he would
walk around and flash people basically.
Flash people, yeah. First couple of times he flashed the front, and then one time he flashed his butt.
Yeah.
And then he started doing full on handstands.
Yeah, and it's so I mean, look, I don't if this was anybody else, it kind of would be weird to me. Like, I don't know, he's flashing women.
Oh yeah.
And like
they like it.
But they all love it.
They love it.
And I think part of it is just like, I mean, he's just like, I think Bobby said it while we were watching. It's like he was kind of just lazily flashing them.
Oh yeah.
It was just like his dress would like come up like, whoo, like,
He's just got an aura of silliness that makes these things seem like he's just like, a fun. I don't want to say dad because then it makes it creepy, but it has like that playful energy.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I had a few friends in college that were kind of like pervy guys, but it's like, but you're like completely harmless because I know you're like actually the sweetest person ever. That's the energy he gives off.
Like I love Chris Pontius's idea of what it would be like to be a girl. Yeah. Where he's just like, I would just suck dick and I would show my butt and I would just be fucking dicks all the time and I would love it. Like that's like
No, I feel like a few years ago I would have had to maybe engage in like Tumblr discourse on like a bit like this, just because he is like, he's making what can only be described as like kind of like stereotypical girl face.
But it's so innocent.
And it's so cute too. And like the dick sucking one that you mentioned was actually, I mean, it wasn't an intelligent joke, but it was funny. You see him in a close up walking out of a cafe, and he's rubbing his mouth like he just finished filleting somebody. The camera widens out, and it's called Cox Cafe. That's
great
funny.
It's a funny joke.
It's really good.
And I believe that he believes that he would, if he was a girl, that would be his life. Yeah. And that would be the girl version of Chris Pontius. Because as a man, he just fucks and is happy and is nice.
See, that's the thing, is like, I think it's less it's not offensive. It's just that is who he would be as a girl.
That's who that person is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter where you put them.
There was a part where he lost one of the clogs. And that was just fun.
They seem horrible.
Have you ever walked in clogs?
No.
I feel like of all my friends, you probably would have.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, like fully wooden, like that looked like walking would be annoying.
Yeah, it makes a cool sound though. That's
clump, clump, clump.
One more thing about this sketch, it included one of my favorite songs, "It Girl" by Brian Jonestown Massacre. Which goes, which girl is the right one? Is the perfect one for me? And like, I don't know, like
this girl.
Yeah, like I could think of like maybe like Chris is like driving around town, like singing that to himself, and then he sees me like walking out of. I don't really go a lot of places.
Or you see a bunch of girls, and then you see Chris Pontius dressed as the Dutch girl.
Yeah. You know what's weird is, and I've said this on the show before, I am usually most attracted to him when he's, like in drag or whatever. Mm-hmm. This time, not so much, and I'm wondering if this is maybe just, maybe this is something that's just personal. Maybe I'm becoming, maybe I'm just growing in my sexual orientation a little bit, but yeah, I didn't find his Dutch girl. I found her pretty. But I didn't want to sleep with her. If that's what you're implying. Thanks for letting that one crash.
Interesting. Think about it, Chris. Think about this.
Think about it, Nate
Think
Cornett.
about it. Think about it, Nate. Really picture it. Really picture it. Okay? I gave you a good visual there.
The funny thing too about like shaming the people at home that like aren't watching, it's like if you're watching our show, Welcome to Jackass, on YouTube, and we're not describing it, we're still doing you a disservice because you're just watching us not describe it.
We're doing you a huge service.
Is this a good
free.
podcast?
You love it. You love it. Remember when Chris Pontius called you a vixen?
You little vixen.
Nobody's ever called me that. That like, and he hit the eyebrow work. Can we see a replay of that eyebrow work?
Bobby and I were literally on a hike today. We were like, is Vera going to scream? Like, are we going to like not be able to hear the audio?
I did everything. I did every possible thing I could do except I did want to start crying.
I realized in the moment that if you started crying or screaming that you would miss the next thing he said so that you weren't going to.
Yeah, no. I was waiting on every word.
He gave you a good long one. He really.
He could give me a good long one, that's for sure.
He gives you a good long one. He delivers.
He could split me in half. I don't care.
That's no longer a double entendre. That is just a sexual.
Yeah, no. I want his
idea.
His long one.
I have speaking opposite of long ones. Something small. I really loved Wee King.
What was Wee King?
Wee King, Nate Cornett. For our friend Nate Cornett, who hasn't seen this sketch, and anyone else who hasn't, Wee King is a sketch in which Wee Man is dressed as a king. We love to see it. We've seen it before. We saw it in a sketch where he kicks Johnny Knoxville being rolled out of.
Sorry, I'm gonna spit on you.
Please. He kicks. That's a different day, but which I kind of liked better.
You liked the rolling out and kicking.
That wasn't in these sketches, but we did see one on a different day in which Johnny Knoxville is all rolled up in a red carpet at the top of a flight of stairs, and Wee Man, dressed as a king with a scepter and crown, kicks it down the stairs.
Yes,
which
yes.
I love, and Johnny Knoxville truly hates it.
But this was him. This was him on the red carpet, tied up behind a passenger van,
being like surfing on the red carpet,
and like doing a pretty good job of staying up. I was kind of surprised.
He fell off one time. The guy made a turn he wasn't expecting, and he fell off, and he was like, "Fuck you, buddy."
It's like the most Wee Man. I want like a shirt with Wee Man. I just want a still of that says "fuck you, buddy" on a shirt.
It's beautiful. It's weird that there aren't Jackass memes.
Yeah, right.
But I guess nobody is as much of a scholar with the time and the tenacity to get to know Jackass the way that we have. So take that challenge, America.
Don't actually, because we're both very jealous people, and if we notice another Jackass podcast,
don't make another podcast.
It'll probably it'll probably actually destroy our friendship.
One of us will guest on it and not tell the other one. It'll be a mess, okay? The whole Red Lobster dinner and Chris Pontius cameo day of perfect friendship will be forgotten. We had Red Lobster.
We didn't mention that, but we did. We had Red Lobster.
Yeah.
A friend of the pod, Mandy. Thank you so much. She sent us a $60 gift card for Red Lobster. Maybe it's tacky to say the dollar amount, but I just want you to know we had $60 worth of seafood before this podcast.
I don't think that's tacky because somebody might have thought it was like a $25 card.
No, and I want them to know how fucking nice our how nice Mandy is, and how nice and like what we expect.
Yeah.
When you send us a gift card,
Nate,
please don't send me a gift card.
Nate sends
you
so
shot
much
my movie for free. We should be sending Nate $60 worth of Red Lobster every week.
Let's send him our leftovers.
Let's show up to his house after we're done recording here. I'll show him the Pontius video since he can't watch it because he can't be bothered to watch the YouTube.
He didn't know. He was like, "Oh, there's a video."
I'm sorry, Nate.
I'm not sorry. I think you love it.
I wrote down Aaron Butt. Oh, Aaron Butt.
Oh, Aaron's butt. This was weird.
This was just, and it's weird because our computer froze while we were watching it, and it was like it froze right at the exact moment where
takes out his butt.
Takes down his pants. He pulls out his butt, and he's like hovering it right towards Chris, and then it froze. And it's like, is he gonna fart?
Poop or fart, as the British would say. He bust his crack out.
Do they say that?
Yeah,
I love that.
He busted his. He busted out his
crack out.
He bust his crack out.
He bust his crack out.
We're gonna get yelled at again.
Do people yell at us for the
British
stuff?
Well, one time we were told that we didn't understand Europe in the comments, which is true. We don't.
I watch Italian horror films.
You know who lived in England? Nate Cornett.
For real?
So Nate, he takes his butt out, and then the computer froze.
Aaron takes his butt out. Nate doesn't take his butt out.
No. Wow, Bobby, you're really gonna have to edit this.
Or not.
Yeah, this is either when Nate becomes our best friend or when he stops working with us.
Aaron takes his butt out.
He takes it out.
And so like we thought, we were like, is he gonna poop or
is he
gonna fart or is he
Big
shit?
disappointment.
He just touched his butt on Chris.
He just puts his butt on Chris's arm.
And you know what? I respect that because that's something I would want to do to Chris. But
totally
not something, I don't know, not really worth.
Would you back up on Chris while he's sleeping to touch your butt cheeks upon his bicep? I made that sound pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you don't. Yeah. That like. Yeah.
What did he say? He said something weird.
He said he called him Chief Roberts.
He was like, "Sorry, Chief." He immediately apologized.
Yeah. It was Chief Roberts because that was his cultural appropriation character of. Well, it's not a character based off cultural appropriation. He was just wearing a headdress in a sketch we watched a few months ago.
See,
probably
I thought that was just like Aaron's weird thing that he says, where he calls people Chief Roberts. I thought, yeah.
If it was Bam, that would make sense.
Yeah.
We didn't get any Bam tonight, which was honestly kind of disappointing, just because I was hoping to just.
I miss my boy.
I love you, Bam.
I watched a video of Bam on Bam's Instagram the other day that Bobby sent me of him and his wife like adopting a dog in Europe. And there's just dramatic shots of him like black and white with a scarf draped over his head. This is a Bam, you know the Bam look? He drapes a scarf over his head and wears a hoodie on top of it.
That is so cute.
It's like weirdly like rabbi reminiscent, but also it's skate.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I feel like if anybody else did it, it actually really wouldn't be like cool. He makes.
And he's got a little bit of eyeliner on.
I've been wearing a lot of scarves lately in my day-to-day life just because of him, and that I haven't seen that video, but that's something I maybe should try because I have a lot of hoodies.
Style icon.
Yeah.
Style icon. Honestly, I'm excited for his lingerie. I hope he makes it. I want to wear it.
I would model. Would you model in it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
If he does that, we should make a calendar.
Counting down the days till it's released. Yeah, no, we should definitely.
Like every month.
I think that would be a good calendar.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good calendar.
No, us posing in Bam lingerie, the Welcome to Jackass calendar for 2022.
Yeah.
And
also maybe some show merch, maybe some of the silly costumes that we sometimes wear.
Oh, well, I don't want to sell any of my clothes. Are you saying like copies of it? Oh, in the calendar.
In the calendar. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just talking. I thought you were just talking. Yeah, no. I'm so frazzled. You fucking sprung that upon me.
I could have saved that for you till like the end of the pod. I couldn't hold it in anymore. As soon as I knew we were recording.
I feel like I don't know, like I feel like I just got caught like by my parents or something, like after like having sex or like they smell liquor on my breath. They're like, I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about, you know. I told you today that I went to Chili's after I lost my virginity. That was something that
Oh,
we talked
yeah.
about while we were eating at Red Lobster.
While we were eating Red Lobster, shout out. Yeah, my parents loved to tell me many times that after I was conceived, they went to Rocco's Pizzeria in Topanga Canyon, and they told me what kind of pizza they had.
What kind did they have?
Shrimp scampi.
That's what we had tonight. That's what we had tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hope that didn't bring up anything.
Oh.
But maybe that's
I've heard this story so many times it doesn't trigger me.
It also like that's probably like in a way like shrimp scampi is probably like your secret weapon.
Damn.
Because technically that was like the first food you ever ate.
True.
Think about it that way.
As an egg being fertilized with the sperm as a union of sperm and egg, I ate
That's how it's
shrimp.
Yeah, we don't need to get in like when life starts, but
Life is a continuum. Life is constant. There's germs on me now.
Yeah.
They're alive. Life is everywhere. Death is forever.
thank
I don't know.
God.
When do you get American rights? Like, I don't know when you're 18. Like, oh yeah, you said we don't need to get into it, and you're right. Remember?
I wanted to let you burn out for once. Let you lose steam. Well, I
Never. I'm not tired or proud. Remember when some pigeons were eating cake out of Knoxville's butt crack?
That was confusing because you thought that was weed at first.
I thought it was a weed brownie.
Yeah.
Because he said something I couldn't quite hear at the beginning, and then he said these pigeons are going to be really happy in a little while. So I thought it was like going to make them high.
But pigeons can eat whatever they want. Pigeons eat cake all the time, I'm sure.
So it's
really
probably
that
just cake.
It was really the special occasion for them was that their
They got to be-
their plate was Johnny Knoxville's body and butt crack.
Yeah.
Imagine walking because like that looked like it was in. I mean, we don't know anything about Europe, but that looked like it was somewhere in Europe. 'Cause shit
to
looked
the
old and,
birds.
you know,
Toppins.
or a lot of crud.
Back. Toppins. We should re-edit that scene and put Johnny Knoxville getting
I love that. Some of the most beautiful
the
map
young
paintings of all
ones
time.
are hungry.
You combining Mary Poppins and Jackass.
That's where we meet.
Basically us.
That's where we
Yeah.
meet. That's what we like.
Imagine seeing that though, like you're on vacation and you see just a man hunt like on all fours with his ass crack in the air, like birds eating, and he's just laughing maniacally.
Probably normal for Europe. That's just what they do in Europe.
They're very free over there.
They're very free.
I bet that's how they feed all the birds.
All the birds every time.
Toppins.
Oh, back.
Did you see the new Mary Poppins?
No.
I saw it just because I mean it's like the original is one of my favorite movies,
Yeah.
so maybe that should have been why I avoided it. But the music was pretty good in it. But it ends in such a weird way. Like everybody talked about like Dick Van Dyke coming back because like he danced in it, but it's so clearly like a deep fake of like somebody else dancing in this
Oh.
spot. But like the weirdest thing about it is like it ends with him kind of shit talking the bird lady from Mary Poppins and talking about how he's like I remember one time when your father was in here, you said that you would give the bird lady your change, but we took the change and we allowed it to grow. And it was like basically the moral of the story was like
propaganda.
it was like banks are good and bird ladies in front of
That's like the opposite of the point of Mary
it's
Poppins.
the exact opposite of the point. It was shocking because it was also like because otherwise I would say the movie was kind of just like this run-of-the-mill Disney reboot.
Yeah.
But like disguised as a sequel. But like yeah, it came out of nowhere and it was
propaganda. Ding 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 ding.
it just goes foof over people's heads.
Woof. Not mine and yours.
No.
Because we're awake.
Yeah. We're red-pilled.
We're welcome to Jackass.
We're starting over.
Yeah, cut everything that's happened so far. Vera, I sent you a text. Oh my God, it's Chris Pontius.
I'm so horny.
Wow. And how?
That's my impression of myself. Oh, I'm so horny. Oh. Lately, I've been
You
doing
do like a Monty Python girl voice when you do the impression of yourself.
yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah.
Episode 3D.
Yeah.
He's so good in that movie. Robin Williams is so fucking good in that movie.
I know, it's crazy.
Ugh.
It's crazy. You still have to watch Nirvana the Band the Show. There's a Mrs. Doubtfire episode.
Oh my god.
Each one of the episodes is like based off of a TV show or a movie or something.
Okay, that's the guy that did
The school shooter movie.
Which
But
you
the
should
show
see
is,
if
like,
you haven't seen it.
Top notch, like really like our favorite television. Besides Jackass, obviously.
There's a lot of things I like slightly more than Jackass. I feel fine saying that. Jackass, it's like I don't understand why everything needs to be like ranked now. You know, like I don't know. Like I see that all the time. Like oh, my 5 favorite things. It's just like you can like I don't know.
The internet is lists. It's not 3D shapes. It's just you can only write things like that.
Imagine if it was though. Imagine if it was 3D shapes. Imagine if the internet was 3D shapes.
Like if you could go outside your front door and play with your friends in real life. Yeah.
If only. I want to talk about Human Pinata.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing with your friends in real life, this was Knoxville. Dressing up as a pinata, but just his head.
Yeah, the rest of it is just like wrapped in streamers.
It was like, I feel like this happens on the show quite a bit where like they start doing something and then they just kind of reach a point where like, that's enough. And like it's definitely probably laziness and like lack of resources.
Okay, what was the pinata?
I could not figure that out.
Okay, because when they start by wrapping him in streamers and a little kid stops and looks at him, which is a great cutaway, but they wrap him from the up to his waist in green and then up the rest in orange. So I was like, it's the opposite of a carrot. But then they put a big orange over his head. So it's like an orange that then has a rod sticking out of it that is also orange, but then becomes green.
And part of it was like, I mean, part of this is because it's a piñata, so like naturally it looks like kind of like a furry texture.
Right.
But it felt like especially like a weird orange furry thing. Maybe it was just like a weird monster or something. I don't know.
It definitely became a weird monster.
Well, either way, they hung him up on a playground.
To dry.
And a bunch of kids just beat him. They got, they smashed his head and got all the candy that was inside. But then then it was just kids hitting Knoxville.
Love it. Classic. Right before he goes up, he says to the camera, "The candy is here," and like points at his junk. You know what? Instant karma, sir, because those kids beat the shit out of you.
Also something that you would not do in a comedy sketch today because of how quickly the alt-right will immediately say you're like a part of QAnon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he got what was coming to him. I was surprised to not see him get mad.
I think they were plastic bats.
Have you ever been hit with a plastic bat?
I guess not.
It hurts.
Cut away to Vera hitting me really hard with a plastic bat. Bring us a plastic bat.
Send us in a gift card for plastic bat.
I got it. You guys were really talking up getting fucking socked in the face last time. I'm feeling left out. Gotta get hit.
We were talking about it in the context of having severe drug problems.
Send me some drugs.
Yeah.
Gotta try this at home. They cut away to the moms, and the moms were loving it.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments in the sketch, but also just one of my favorite moments watching the sketch with you, just because of how much joy that brought you seeing the parents of the children.
I love it. Because
Yeah.
there's always talk. We always have, the slight controversy of like, can they work with kids? Is it weird that they're working with kids? Is it weird that kids are hitting them in the nuts? And like to just see like a line of mothers there being like, hell yeah. Like,
yeah, no, I don't know what it was about this one, but this one, you know why the one that we watched did bother me was because it was in an alley.
oh, that is weird.
This was on a playground. The kids
Yeah.
were like laughing and playing. They weren't like lined up.
Like behind a building.
Yeah, that one felt very produced. That one felt like QAnon.
Sure. Well,
Not QAnon, but I watched the doc this week, the HBO Max. Don't watch it. It's not.
yee.
They expose who QAnon is, and surprise, it is not somebody that was working for Trump.
Who is it?
It's just this fucking guy and his dad from they were these like rich assholes that lived in the Philippines, and they might have gotten some actual drops, some Q drops from Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller at some points, and there might have been some back and forth with Trump's social media team. But for the most part, the reason our country got so much more fucked up these last 4 years was just because of the whims of two assholes. And I don't know why I watched 6 episodes of television to find that out, when I already know that those are the types of people that are constantly fucking me in the ass.
Damn.
Sorry,
Chris, are you hearing
Chris,
this?
you could be fucking me in the ass.
It could be you.
I wouldn't be complaining. Just
Step
let me know
up to
so
the
I don't
plate,
eat Red
sir.
Lobster beforehand.
But alternately, Chris, if you want to have Red Lobster with us, I'll drop $60.
I will invite I'll do you one better. Anyone who has ever worked on Jackass, you are formally Bobby. Edit this into a
Bobby, paper boy.
I was thinking about that today. I was like sitting in my car. I was like, what was the name of Bobby's segment again? And it was the Newsboy. It was the Jackass Newsboy Update.
Bobby wanted it to be called Bobby's Update. But we improved it.
I'll again add, why are you listening to the show?
Also during this, after they had hit Knoxville a lot, you hear him yell out, "Rick has candy in him," and they all run and they hit Rick Cossack.
I must have tuned out at that point. That's amazing.
I wrote it down to make sure I would remember. We saw an interesting moment of Dave England, a little Dave theatrical stroke of genius, where he dressed up as a hunchback and went to Notre Dame. And then he just kind of harassed people. He didn't have any good lines.
He did. He chased after a man and just kept saying, "I can catch you.
I can catch you."
That was funny. That was a good line. But I don't know if it was like, he definitely didn't workshop anything.
No.
It was, it was a funny bit, but yeah, needed some producing, I think.
It just really felt like a Chris Pontius bit, where very quickly Chris would then also take off his pants and just be like a pantsless hunchback, and then just, not really be doing anything clear. But it was Dave. Well, yeah, Dave had an idea.
It reminded me of the American Werewolf in London type thing.
Totally.
Which is like also not really anything, but it's like he's at least running around scaring people.
Yeah.
I think Dave should have, because I do think Dave is good at scare. Like Dave's amazing. I think he should have just been a little bit scarier and less silly.
Yeah. It was a little scary. I was scared for him because it seemed that he did not have a plan.
Are you easily scarable?
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
Because like I know you don't like watch like any horror.
I
or anything,
can't.
but
I'll watch horror, but I'm the most vocal person you'll ever meet. The whole time I'm like, oh no, they shouldn't go in there. Oh no. Ah! Oh, I can't watch this. Oh
that's the no.
No!
That
the
actually,
whole time.
That might mean you love horror then.
It's like really hard for me, and then when
Yeah.
it's over, I am scared the whole night, and I think someone's
yeah.
gonna come into my room.
See, it's weird. I love horror, and I have that part of it. I have that too. Sometimes I can't watch it
Really?
after a certain time.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself and you're not watching too many spooky things.
I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared of Dave England.
It sounds like you were afraid of his
wasn't
costume.
Scared.
You said his costume. You
of
said
his
Dave's.
warts.
You said Dave's.
I wasn't.
Hunchback of Notre Dame costume
Wasn't scared.
was very scary.
No!
We have the tape. Play
I
the
wasn't
tape.
scared.
Nate, play the tape, Nate.
Nate, don't play the tape. Please don't. I love you, Nate. You're the best.
I love you, Nate. The movie looks so pretty.
You're so cool. Oh, car wash.
Car wash, yes. This was a human car wash with Steve-O, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Yes.
Steve-O was tied to the hood of Knoxville's car, and they drove through a car wash.
Yeah, and going into it, Knoxville really acted like Steve-O belonged to him and was his property.
Yeah, shoving the but Steve-O was into it. Like they were shoving the vacuum into his crotch and up his butt.
Well, Knoxville was he was like, get his crotch, and then he was like, turn him over, and then get his butt, and then pulled his pants down, and then was like, get his mouth. And it made me realize that as much as a million women have wanted to fuck Johnny Knoxville, I would have killed myself if I was his little sister.
Yeah, no.
He just seems like the kind of guy who'll come in when you're sleeping and fart on your face when he's 17.
Yeah, no, I don't need any more of that kind of energy in my life.
Yeah, just leave a poop on your pillow.
But I did, that was this was the most I've ever seen that too.
Yeah.
'Cause it was but again, I think Steve-O kind of thrives off that energy because his whole thing is
Please love me.
Yeah, do
Please
whatever you
invite
want.
me. Yeah.
And I'll prove myself.
I really relate to that. If people would just invite me to stuff, I would do almost anything. If they were like, "Oh, Ember, we've got to have you here." And it would be so cool if you were hanging upside down and choking. I'd be like, hell yeah. Oh yeah, I am cool and I will come do that. If I was invited.
I don't know if you want that on record.
Please invite me somewhere. Nobody ever asked me to play in their band. Nobody ever asks me to be in their show. People are scared of me or something. And if I was invited, I would just be so flattered that I wouldn't even think about it.
Not to kind of go in a slightly different direction, but I think it's very surprising that nobody's ever asked you or I to be in a band because I think we're both very musically talented.
Well, I was in one band. I was in Sloppy Jane. I was a bassist, but I was only for touring stuff.
You played bass?
No. I went on tour, and the first time I ever played bass was the first show we played.
I have a feeling that was a lot of bassists. That's how.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
I think that my amp was just turned way down, and nobody told me, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but otherwise, I just don't, I get asked to do stuff that from people who are fans of me.
Yeah.
But from people who I respect or feel are my peer. When you asked me to be in your movie or help out with your movie, I was like, fuck yeah. Yes.
I was so nervous to ask you, and that part was specifically kind of written for you.
I'm
too.
so excited that I got to do it. It was a perfect part for
and
me.
I think if I do ever get to make the sequels, I think the second one is mostly just those two characters.
I love it.
So yeah, no, I was nervous to ask you because I look up to you so much, and
I'm so flattered.
But see, kids, if you just ask your friends to be in your movie,
Yeah.
sometimes they'll do it.
But if I don't like your project, I'm going to say no.
Same.
Real mixed messages.
Hard.
But yeah.
Same.
That's how it is. Yeah.
But shoot your shot,
But I will say, I know we did way too much of this in the last episode, but I will say that if someone says no to a project or a role, it doesn't mean that the role or project is bad. It doesn't mean the rate or lack thereof that you can offer is bad. I have pros that will do stuff with me for free who want to, and some of my best friends won't, and they need to be paid. And it doesn't mean anything about your project or what you're offering or anything. It's just there's right people for everything and wrong people.
No, I actually pulled a tarot card today, the nine of wands, and I think it was very specifically kind of about that for myself because I think I put a lot of my identity on this I measure my worth and my identity based off my accomplishments sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I think I used
sometimes?
to do that. I think I used to do it all the time. Now I think I do it sometimes.
Congratulations.
But it used to be, I would get completely heartbroken if somebody wouldn't do my. But yeah, no, it's literally it's a gift. You should see it as a gift when something like that doesn't work out because it means somebody's not. Because I've had the opposite of it where oh, you clearly don't want to do this, but you're doing it for some reason.
It drags down the energy of the whole thing. Yeah, just don't. Yeah, if it's wrong for you, say no.
Yeah.
If I say no to something, it doesn't mean that the project's bad. It's just not the fit for me at that time. And if someone says no to me, doesn't mean that my project's bad. It's not the fit at the time.
I will, I'll still eat a pint of ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
After doesn't want to be in my movie. But maybe add a beep sound there so it seems like I said a name.
And then cut that part out.
Yeah, and then cut that part and what Ember just said. And what I just
And
said
this.
about this.
And this.
And this.
And this.
And
And
this.
this. And this. Insert shot of Bobby just putting a gun to his head. Newsboy!
He's not a producer, he's a news
Okay,
boy.
so Knoxville said get the gooch. The guy
Are we still on Human Car Wash?
Yeah.
Now I'm overthinking the
Yeah.
format of the
Yeah.
show.
And I think it's a guy that just worked at the car wash that was like vacuuming Steve-O's gooch. Oh, I had a note about this sketch.
Okay.
So they go into the car wash and Steve-O is on the hood. I was going to say he's strapped to it, but he's not. He's just lying on the hood of the car. And then that thing comes that slaps your car a whole bunch, right?
Yes, yeah.
I think I've told you this, but Mr. Kellogg of Kellogg's Flakes, the cereal manufacturer, fancied himself a Renaissance man. A little bit of history, a little bit of fun. He fancied himself a Renaissance man, and he was an inventor. And one of the things that he invented was machines for asylums.
This is the same guy that was like also he was like low-key eugenicist.
Probably. I think anyone involved in asylums
I want to say
for hundreds of years.
I want to say like he was a big anti like masturbation guy and
That's
like
many guys.
and
There's some guys on Reddit right now.
Yeah.
But point being, one of the things that he invented was a machine that slaps you all over. Very much like that thing that was hitting Steve-O, and he said that it would cure madness. And he made it, and it was used in asylums. Obviously, it just slaps you all over like a car wash. But it's interesting because Steve-O did spend time committed, and a little foreshadowing.
Without getting into the specifics of it, but you and I have been working on something on and off that features that kind of imagery.
Yeah.
And it was your idea. I just thought that came from the dark recesses of your mind.
I am a genius, but this is history.
That's so fucked up. It is like a human car wash.
Yeah. I saw a picture of it. I'll try to find it. There was like a black and white photo of somebody, and it's just like on either side, and it's just that thing. It's just like a car wash.
That's just, I mean, when you think about, like, that's not that long ago.
No.
When you think about how far we've come.
And two thoughts. One, horrific that someone could be forced through that. Two, I kind of want one. Yeah. Because I do feel like it would be a great wake me up.
Yeah, no, that was the first thing. I mean, not to go blue, but I was watching that happen to Steve-O, and I was like, I think I would like that.
Yeah.
I think it would feel like a bunch of feathers all over my body.
I think they hit you pretty hard, but maybe it's like a good way.
Well, that too. Yeah, no, I mean, that sounds cool too.
Yeah.
I mean, but watching it, I for some reason was thinking of feathers. I don't know.
Huh. I would be interested to see you go in with the idea of feathers and see if you come out and you still say feathers or if you say something else.
Well, if I go in, no, I want to know what I'm getting into here, That's why I wouldn't work with Knoxville. That's why I'm not, it's a no for me if Knoxville's calling me and he's like, hey.
Lie on the
almost
car.
Dead name myself. Hey, Vera, if you want to.
I mean, if it's Knoxville, he's not the most correct man. He told the kids that the candy is here.
So funny. Oh God, I almost dead name myself like once a week still.
That seems fair because of the multiple decades where that was your name.
Yeah, it's also like it's my it's my last name now, and it's also just like I don't really. I mean, I do care. Like I want people to call me Vera, but like I don't know. I think sometimes I still am like that was a Drew moment. Like sometimes like that was a Drew moment. That's
Can
Vera.
you tell us what would be like an example of a Drew moment?
Like, I'll tell you like the most extreme example is like, oh, I'm not going to make it to the bathroom in time, so I'm going to shit my pants. Or I'm going to shit in a stairwell. That's like a classic.
It's like a common.
That happened to me. I used to have a drug and alcohol problem. That happened to me a few times. There was one time, it was when I was living. I feel so bad about this. I've never told a soul this, but I was living at Park La Brea, and I was just moved to LA, and I had gotten way too drunk the night before, and I was walking back to my house, to my apartment, and I couldn't make it up the stairs. I took a shit in the stairwell.
Of your apartment building.
Yeah, only as much as I needed to
in order
to get
it. Yeah.
The rest. But I had so much shame over it. I ran upstairs, came back down like 10 minutes later. The shit was gone. Somebody
got up and it walked away.
Somebody probably had watched me squat, pull down my pants, squat in a stairwell, shit a little bit, and then walk upstairs. And I hope they saw me return too, to know that I was going to return.
If you're watching right now,
I didn't want another human being to clean up my feces. I don't think that I think I'm human just like you.
I think it's amazing that you went back to clean it up because I wouldn't have.
That's what I just described is
that a Vera moment going back?
No,
that's still
both are a Drew moment because no, Vera goes back because she's a good Christian girl from the Midwest. Drew goes back just because it's like, oh, I'm gonna feel bad about this, and I'm it's just like it's whiny, pissy Drew.
Huh. This is. So I feel that if we hadn't watched the Pontius video, that I would not have gotten this information tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm I hope he doesn't tune in.
Loosened up. We are getting the deep stuff, the good stuff,
goods, yeah.
the really good
I've
stuff.
got a lot of stuff like that I haven't told on the podcast yet. So get prepared. Like, there's years and years of, and there was another time where I was on my way to a French final. It was my senior year.
This high school?
This was college.
This was my God. You took French?
Yeah.
Can you say anything in French?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't say a goddamn thing. I took 4 years of Spanish too, and I know 4 words.
Can't say shit. Can't say shit.
I had already missed the amount of classes that I was pretty much guaranteed I was going to get a C. I needed to go to this final. I probably could have called my professor and said, "Hey, I'm having a bit of a problem. I didn't even need to tell him I shit my pants. I could have told him it was like emergency. I could have told my fucking dad died or something. But instead, I cleaned up a little bit, but I went to class with shit in my pants. And I took a French final.
I'm so proud. Honestly, I'm proud of you. That's amazing.
Why?
That's incredible.
You're saying I should kind of bring back this kind of energy into my life? Or?
No, I don't want to be responsible for saying that. But what I'm saying is that I think that, when you look back on a past you and you go like, wow, you did me a solid.
Yeah. Like,
thank you. You're a good friend. You took that final with the shit in your pants. Like, wow, thank you so much.
That's kind of how I view both. Because, like, I do feel bad that somebody cleaned up my poop in that stairwell. But, like, at the same time, it's like, that kid did whatever the hell they wanted, and I can respect that.
Also, people have to clean up poop every day.
Yeah, but not mine,
Hey, we're part of the human family. Everybody poops. Many people poop in unusual places. People have to poop.
I'm not gonna watch back this
once
episode.
a day.
I'm not gonna watch back a frame.
I'm making it worse, huh? But remember when Danger Aaron really did a bad stunt with his butt? So
he's the asshole.
Yeah. Speaking of Aaron, the very first thing we saw a butt, we saw a pink thong, we saw a snowboard, and we were excited. And then we saw that it was Aaron, and because we're sheeple who have followed in the Jackass decision of who is cool and who is not, we were like, darn.
Well, I was bummed because I just thought it was, pardon the pun, but I was bummed because I thought it was Pontius's bum.
Don't we know it?
But, you
got to see it later.
I got to see it later, and I got my own fucking video now.
Hell yeah. All
I'm
yours.
going to be watching a few times tonight. That's all I'll say.
That's all you.
That's all I'll say. This is I've said so much
So
that I regret
much.
on this episode, and like,
Do you regret it?
Yeah, but it's like, if it's funny, whatever. But it's just more so like I don't think it was the video. I think it was partially the cameo video, but I also think something about the Red Lobster we had.
It's like an aphrodisiac, but of embarrassing thoughts. I have something embarrassing.
Yeah.
The pants I'm wearing, the fly brings itself down. So
Oh,
since
that's
I've been
okay.
sitting here, the fly has lowered itself. And I keep like doing this with my jacket, but it does it all by itself. It like comes down.
Nate's at home right now, and he's like, "What's a zipper?" Oh no, the green screen's falling.
Nate, just so you know, there's a green screen here, and it just fell. And I zipped up my fly.
I think we have.
And I'm wearing a cool hat.
Oh,
I did not fix the green screen just now.
this is fine.
Oh, is
What
it?
time are we at?
Bobby, do you want to say something? We saw there were some things that are like not super worth discussing.
Well, yeah. I mean, just for the sake of they put some skateboard wheels on a boogie board.
Yeah. And
That
then
was-
they just got some cool footage.
Yeah, and that was just cool footage.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is it's like, it's like we're talking like that's like disappointing or whatever, but like I used to just watch skate video. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's
I would, and I
cool.
also would just watch a skate video.
You know what's embarrassing as someone who makes videos and like has like tried to be an actor their whole life and all this shit? I watch any skate video and I'm like, this is better footage. This is better.
Well, I think that's your like realism thing. Like, and I think you see that in your show too.
I
that
guess,
it's like,
yeah. But just seeing like that raw energy and
Yeah.
someone actually get hurt and actually do a cool acrobatic thing, and they're just like the energy in the footage. I see it and I'm like, oh, fuck drama. Like, this is what's good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's also like with this show too. It's just like the way it's so not edited. It's just like, I don't know, like if there's so many like bits, like pranks specifically, like Man on the Street stuff on this show where it's like, if it was like edited in the Eric Andre style or like whatever, it would feel weird. It's like, I almost like, it's like the fact that it just like lives in this like real world, like wide shot thing. I think you're onto something.
It's just real. It's just actual fun.
I'm slightly the opposite. Like I prefer heavily stylized normally. If you can imagine.
I mean,
that.
what I make is more stylized, but like
Yeah.
I see this and I'm like, wow. I just have like a childlike yearning.
I'm thinking specifically of like you on the freeway and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, like when you're in studio.
Yeah.
But even that, Ember, it's like, I don't know. Like, I think it's also just like, there's something like about like, I'm sorry, I'm just like sucking your dick right now about like your amazing show, but I know
You
you're
like
making
it?
it again, and you know,
You think it's good?
I think it's good.
You think it's a good show?
Just the frame is like the smaller like the it just feels it's all very real and intimate and like does feel not homemade, but it feels like you're watching it being made in a way that is like, so I think
Chef's
you've
kiss.
got that
That was a
vibe.
chef's kiss, Nate.
Yeah, that was sometimes, Nate, when chefs make a good meal, they kiss their fingers.
It's a good show.
Mwah. Starburst.
That's a Starburst. Yeah. Also, while we've talked a lot about Nate, and I just want to say, Mikey Santos shoots the Ember Knight show. He is also a great DP, and we're never going to leave him, and he doesn't need to be worried or jealous. So
I
that was just a little business I'm clearing up. I don't think he listens to this, but just in case, Mikey, you're a rock star. And we
Nate,
love you.
you're
Nate,
you're
you're also cool.
you're my guy.
You're both cool.
I've worked with a lot of people.
There's room for everyone
There's room for everybody to work with us.
for free. But not actually everyone, because some people we don't like.
Yes. You know who you are.
Or I'll tell you.
I think we only had one more. Oh, Belt Sanders.
Oh my God, Belt
Skater.
Sanders skates.
I'm glad we're ending with this one. This is Knoxville.
So Knoxville, you gotta bend your knees, man.
These guys making this show, and they don't understand the fact that like your center of gravity is in your core. It's in your ass. So when you're on something that's your feet are going to be moving, you got to lean back. Otherwise, you are going to fall every single time.
So Knoxville is bad at skates. He's good at wearing a suit of armor, being pretty, being on a rocket, and being rude, and getting the shit kicked out of him. He's good at a lot of things. He's not good at being on wheels, not good at skateboards, not good at skates. So he shouldn't have been the one to do this bit. Somebody else should have done this bit because it would have been cool. But instead, they had him do it. They put belt sanders on his feet, and he squats every time. He squats down, they turn it on, and he immediately stands up and falls backwards on his ass.
Every single time. And
Every time.
Yeah, it's just
Every time, Nate. Is it too far?
No, it was like when we were doing it like
Earlier?
like a half hour
first
ago,
time?
and now it's like I don't know. Like I heard somebody describe this like about like Family Guy or something. Like, oh, you do it. It
That's
goes
what we're
so
going
long.
for.
Yeah, no, we're like aiming for that Family Guy demo. I mean, I'm a raver, so like if you like, and I like
repetitive
ravers.
things.
Well, raver. I don't know if you know this, but Family Guy is really big in the rave scene.
That makes sense. It's a lot like the music. And I mean that in a derogatory way. It's monotonous, okay?
Yeah, but if you're on
And
Molly,
abrasive.
I mean, like, what the fuck? And you're wearing neon?
And if I was on Molly, I would love Family Guy. And the next day I would be like, shit, I actually love Family Guy. But it's like, no, you're on Molly.
Yeah. And then you're watching the Ember Knight show, and it's like, oh, what if something was
What if
like...
you were sad?
Yeah, it's not what, oh, this reminds me of, like, pop
Lois.
cultural thing. It's, oh, this reminds me...
Lois, I feel sad inside. What if I was lonely? What if I needed to improve?
You do a good Peter Griffin.
I'm copying Bobby's.
Wow,
Bobby does
Lois.
all the time. He's never seen a full episode of Family Guy, and all the time he's
don't
like,
believe that.
Lois, this is worse than the time that, Johnny Knoxville came out of my ass. Like, all the time he'll say pretty much this. He'll be like, Lois, there's something wrong with my ass. Fuck you. Because you do this to me every 3 days. You'll do a fucking Peter Griffin impression and talk about your ass as Peter Griffin. I'm like, Lois, this is worse than...
I mean, I'm surprised you haven't seen the show, because, like, that's pretty much...
That's the show.
Yeah.
That's the show.
Is it still on?
Is this still on?
I saw Seth Macfarlane. I was on a date a few years ago at a fish restaurant.
You?
Yeah. And believe it or not,
Was it Red Lobster?
it was not.
It was not?
It was actually. I was on a second date, and we showed up to the restaurant.
Bubba
I didn't
Gumps?
realize how expensive the place was. It was like a fancy place. I didn't realize it was fancy. And then when we sat down, and my date was like, "Is this okay?" I was like, "Yeah."
But no.
I was not okay with that. But
Damn, I'm glad I was wearing a shirt where I could do that.
Seth MacFarlane was there.
What? That's how you know it's expensive, because that guy's loaded.
But he was was
Lois,
with
this
girl.
is worse than the time that Seth MacFarlane was at the seafood restaurant.
That's how I should have. This is why we should write this show.
I'd be like, if you put the spotlight on me in a writer's room, I'll be like when SpongeBob goes into the air. It'll be just like,
I feel like
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been in a writer's room.
Just keep me in the shadows. Like, I'll do it like the Roxanne thing. Like, you wear like a little Bluetooth, and I'll just tell you my ideas from outside.
Or like Mulholland Drive, where you're like behind plate glass and the shadowy, and you're like a shadowy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like tiny old people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm crying and jerking off.
How do you do with Mulholland Drive if you don't like those spooky things?
I love that movie. But that one doesn't feel spooky. That one is like suspenseful and spooky.
Yeah.
It's like horror and gore can be hard for me. If it's artful and it's good and there's a reason, I like it. But if it feels gratuitous and like there's not a reason, then I feel really cheated and just like spooked.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like that movie is so. I mean, I guess that one's not the most hardcore.
I love it.
That movie is like just kind of like beautiful and almost like it just feels like, and maybe it's now just like living in LA for like the last 10 years. It's like it just feels like a very like classic Hollywood movie, even though it was made in like 2001 or whatever. It's just like
it may be the most classic Hollywood movie.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I don't know, and it's so good, so good. If you haven't seen Mulholland Drive, see Mulholland Drive. This is a Jackass podcast, but we like other things.
Like, I feel that Blue Velvet is scarier than Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, Blue Velvet. Yeah, that is. But that's also because of that guy. Like that. Yeah. That is like one of the most
really scary.
But it's like those Lynch villains. They're still really funny because they're like these weird baby men. Like they're these weird. Did you ever see Wild at Heart?
No.
It has my favorite version of that, which is like of like a Lynch like abuser guy, but it's Willem Dafoe and he's got no teeth in it, and he just looks fucked.
They removed his teeth?
He was wearing a prosthetic, like prosthetic gums, and like
I feel like it would still be hard to hide your teeth.
It works. It works. Because it changes the whole shape of his face. You wouldn't even know it was Willem Dafoe at first until he's like starting to like smile and do things. But it's like kind of the funniest version of that character while still being super menacing. I think you'd like Wild at Heart. It's pretty bonkers and it's pretty sexy too.
I love to watch a sexy movie.
I know you like your sexy flicks.
I just saw Borat for the first time.
What do you think?
I thought it was a very sexy movie. It's weird because I did in the stand-up I used to do, I did what I called an Italian man.
Right, you invented Borat, we know.
No, it was after Borat, but I'd never seen Borat, and now when I watch it, I'm like, I was literally doing Borat. Like, so embarrassing. Like, that sucks.
I remember seeing Borat in the theaters.
Damn.
And it was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life when I saw that movie. It was like, I was in high school.
Can you imagine we were both in high school if we had gone together?
Would we have been friends in high school?
I don't know. Would we?
I was a theater fag, so yeah, I guess we would have.
Yeah,
we would have been friends.
I think so. Also, I loved theater and I loved getting fucked up.
Yeah.
In high school, that's all I wanted to do. I was a hopeless slut.
I didn't see none of that really entered my life till college.
Oh,
so
dang.
You might have been too cool for me in high school, to be honest.
Impossible. I was not cool. No, I was medium cool. I was right at the, like, if the cool kids are at 100 and the lame kids are at 0, I was like at 80 but slightly to the side. So the cool kids were like, what's that over there? Maybe that's cool or maybe it isn't. But a lot of people thought I was cool, but I didn't feel cool enough to hang out with the cool kids.
I can guarantee not one person at my high school thought I was cool. I think a couple people thought I was funny. But I think most people just didn't even know who I was. I was really quiet. And like I also was just people thought I was on drugs like throughout all of high school just because I would
And you weren't?
Not really, no. I mean, like
What's not really?
I smoked, but I mean, well, it's a complicated question because I was also like abusing prescription meds when I was like in high school. But like
that's drugs.
Okay, well,
is it?
Yeah, I guess it is. But I prescribed them.
Yeah.
But I guess I was abusing them. So
well, that's up to you. What you call it?
It didn't make me cool. That's the point I'm making. I think people thought I was doing cool drugs. Like I was like a heroin kid or something.
Oh.
And like I wasn't. I was like a fucking stinky. I was like a little stinky Monty Python kid that like watched like movies in basements and stuff.
Movies in basements? Sounds pretty cool. I want to see a movie in a basement. I'm so sick of this room.
We'll get you a basement.
Let's find a basement to watch a movie. Let's watch Borat and pretend it's the first time. Popcorn.
Let's watch Borat and pretend it's... That sounds like a fucking like a love song.
Watch Borat.
I worked
maybe.
with Borat. I don't know if you knew that.
Worked with Borat?
Yeah, I worked with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the audience, Nate might not know.
I think Nate does
Nate
know.
definitely knows. I think Nate worked on it briefly too.
No.
I mean, we ran out of bits, so we're just riffing now. This is Jackass
We're just
After
hanging
Dark.
out. Oh yeah, this part should be behind a paywall, but it's not. But maybe one day it will be. So you should really be happy that you're listening right now. Just really feel like you're getting a bargain at this time. I like your necklace.
Thank you. It's from Sailor Moon.
Very cool.
I've been watching a lot of anime,
Okay.
and I think it's something you should get into.
No.
I think it's something you
I
should.
don't want it.
I think you should force yourself to. I'm gonna send you some anime.
No! I'm wearing a cool sailor hat. Do you like my sailor hat?
This is exactly why I think you would love anime.
No!
Like, it's shit like this. You're just a fucking little boy in a sailor's hat talking about Jackass. Like, there's nothing more anime than Ember Knight. And I know that's also an anime character, but apart from that.
I hate to Google myself because it's like bad pictures of me, bad pictures of me, bad pictures of me. A really muscular anime on fire.
Oh, something. Well, this was off mic, but you said earlier that you Google me from time to time.
From time to time I do. I have 2 times Googled you.
Oh, okay, then that's not really time to time.
But that's time to time. That was 2 times. One time and then the other time.
Well, what's the two between those times?
Time to time. Why jump from one time to the other time? It's out, one time I don't know.
It's okay.
I Google my friends sometimes, and I don't know why I Googled you today. I was at the office. I was bored. I was like, aw, my friend Vera. And I just typed your name. Instead of typing it into social media, I just typed it into the Google bar. This happens all the time. I'll do this sometimes with like when I'm trying to pull up a text message.
Yeah.
I just Google my friend, and then I'm like, well, why did I do that? But when I did it with you, a bunch of cute pictures of you came up, and like your Emmy pictures are super cute, and like articles came up, and I was like, aw, I love this person. And I like clicked on a thing, and I was like, I agree with that.
I don't look like me though in those Emmy pictures. I look hot, but I look like a different hot girl.
I think that's the point though of being a celebrity, is like you get done up for award shows in ways that is like a special look.
I'm never gonna do that again.
Don't say that.
I'd rather look like me. I'll get done up, but I'd rather look like me because like I just don't know who that broad is. Like I look at that picture and I'm like, she's
cute. Also, as you get older, you look different. Like your past pictures look different. Have I told you my big outfit plan for my first award show?
No.
There's this great picture of Jim Carrey that Bobby sent to me one time. Credits to Bobby, where he went to the Oscars with really big feet. So he's just like in a loose fitting suit, but then he has these giant bare feet, and he's just standing there with his giant feet, and I love it. And I want to do it with ears, have ears that are just like a little bit,
Just slightly
just
bigger.
yeah, like not ludicrous, but just like a little bit too big.
Yeah, no, I think they should just be just small enough that people are unsure if they should comment on it.
Because I have kind of funny ears, and when I was little, they stuck out more. I had like very monkey-ish ears, and now they're subtle. But I used to be embarrassed of them, and so I think that I owe it to that person to in public have
That's true.
bigger ones.
No, I think that's a reclamation.
That
If you could
stick
somehow
out.
make the rest of your head also just look tinier in general too, I think that.
Well, I am stupid. I used to as a kid. I would stand in the mirror and I would pinch my ear, and I would hold it like that and think that if I did that every day, that I would have elf ears.
Oh, elf ears. Okay, I thought
What?
that was headed a different way.
Where?
I just thought because you said you like hated your ears and like, I think it's cute that you wanted elf ears. I thought you were pinching your ears so they'd get like less weird or whatever.
Well, I thought it would be better. I thought they'd look better if they were like that.
You're looking at yourself in the mirror while you're doing this.
Because now
You're
I'm
pretending like
now
this is
that I'm
something
thinking
you
about
used
this,
to
I'm
do.
like agreeing.
You could honestly,
I could pierce them together, but it would hurt.
Yeah, but if it's something you want to do, I think you should. We have people sending us $60 gift cards to Red Lobster. I'm sure we could find some scumbag who's gonna pay you to fucking turn your ears into elf ears.
I think it would be cute. I've always thought it would be cute.
If you are at home and you have I don't know. How much does that cost? It's like, we could take you to Claire's. It's
I
like
don't think they'd do it
$26.
at Claire. We'd have to film it if we went to Claire's because they would say no. They'd be like, no.
I got my ears
Me too.
as an adult.
At Claire's?
Yeah, at Claire's. Because I was like, I felt like it was like a rite of passage or something.
Yeah. I think anytime you get your ears pierced at Claire's, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so cheap.
Yeah. Stop by Claire's and thanks for tuning in. And
Are we wrapping up? Oh man, I'm just getting started.
I just feel bad because I just know how much editing goes into this show.
Is it much?
I don't know. I don't listen to the show. I can't stress enough how uncomfortable I get. Because, like, to me, this is just us hanging out. Because this is really, I mean, I see you once a week.
This is what it's like.
But this is just what we do now. And, like, it's fun. And, like, I don't need to revisit hangout sessions. I don't need to hear myself tell 2 stories about times I've shit myself.
I feel like I'm gonna revisit these when I'm like 85.
Well, yeah, that's.
And I'm gonna be like, you guys were so pretty. Like,
rest in peace.
You guys were so nervous. You shouldn't have been. You were so pretty.
Yeah, and I've been dead for years at that point.
Yeah, you're dead. You're dead, and I have all your money because you left it to me.
And it's a lot. You're living.
It's a lot.
In the clouds. You're living on a cloud atlas.
Yep. Like in Metalocalypse, it's a floating castle.
You
gotta watch it.
Would love anime.
Nope. Just like the things I already know. When I'm 80, I'll be like, I stopped watching new things when I was 28, and I've never been happier.
Well, how about this? I'll leave you all my money, but
I have to watch anime.
Yeah, it's like Brewster's Millions. You ever see that movie with I think Richard Pryor?
So Richard Pryor has to watch anime to get your money.
Richard Pryor,
I love him.
He's so funny.
I love him.
I just watched Superman 3 and he's in it, and everybody talks so much shit about that movie because, like, you could tell he's on drugs. You could tell he's like.
I'd be on drugs if I was in a Superman
if I was in
movie.
Superman 3, yeah, I would be on drugs. He is so good at it. He plays
amazing.
A hacker in it.
Oh my god, I love him. I love his interviews.
Oh,
he's so daring. He's fantastic.
People fucking hated him too in those interviews. Yeah. I hear he was kind of a bad man, but
so that's fine.
That's fine.
He and Gene Wilder, I have like a super love connection with. Did you know that Gene Wilder was in the 70s feature film of The Little Prince?
I did not. What? I didn't know there was a feature film of The Little Prince.
Went on a little YouTube dive the other night. There's a 70s feature film where Gene Wilder plays the fox and Bob Fosse plays the snake. Did his own choreography, and that choreography was ripped off exactly by Michael Jackson for the Billie Jean choreography. It's Bob Fosse, which makes sense.
Fucker.
And then there's also a British made-for-TV opera from the 80s of The Little Prince, which everyone hates, and I like it.
But Gene Wilder, did you end up watching the Gene Wilder one?
I watched only his scene, and I watched the Bob Fosse scene, and they're great scenes. The Gene Wilder scene is like beautiful.
He is one of, I mean, he's just incredible.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of his stuff before doing Joker, just because I get very insecure about facial expressions, just because I have to force myself because I think, because of the spectrum stuff. But like watching him, he's not subtle, but he knows when to be subtle, because then he can earn those big fucking, just those big looks in those, like, he's brilliant. He's brilliant.
I had an acting coach that I really respected, and that's rare. Fuck acting teachers. But I had an acting coach that I really respected who told me that Gene Wilder has a look in his eyes like his soul is being fucked by the universe.
That is the best description.
You know what I mean?
No, and I think
sort of like us right now with the screen.
He's yeah. I also love his last talk show appearance is, I think, him on Conan, and he's just in sweats.
Yeah.
And I love it.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Beautiful man. That's our pod. Wow.
Stop at Red Lobster.
Yeah.
We went to the one in Inglewood because there's none in L.A. and I am going to be writing Mayor Garcetti about this.
And by we, I mean Vera went. We were here. And we got to eat it.
I feel so good when I feed people.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have been really insecure about accepting that meal if I didn't know I had a video of Chris Pontius for you.
For real.
Yeah. It's really hard for me actually to. I would have felt like indebted.
It's hard for me too, but the thing you got to remember about this friendship is it's not transactional.
That's hard for me too.
Yeah. No, I have my therapist always has to remind me that about literally all my relationships because that's just the kinds that I have.
Yeah.
But no, I will feed you both Red Lobster till my dying breath.
So there's no Red Lobster to give.
Yeah. I hope I outlive Red Lobster.
You will.